Harrison, I said when the gruff voice answered on the third ring. I need the team. All of them. There was a pause on the other end of the line. It's been a decade, Julian. Are you sure? My son is in the ICU. I replied, my voice dead and devoid of any emotion. Burn it down. Burn it all down. By the time I returned to Evergreen Academy, the campus was swarming with police. The wreckage of our cars had been cordoned off with yellow tape. As I approached the main office, Dean Gable rushed out to meet me, flanked by 2 police officers. She looked frantic, her usual polished demeanor entirely shattered. Mr. Sterling, thank God you're back. We were just about to issue a warrant for your arrest, she gasped, though she didn't look entirely upset about it. You intentionally destroyed a teacher's vehicle and fled the scene. You could have killed someone. I moved an obstruction blocking a medical emergency, I said coldly, brushing past her toward the principal's office. Where is Vance? You cannot go in there, the dean shrieked, grabbing my arm. Mr. Vance is currently pressing charges against you, and honestly, after your unhinged behavior today, we are officially expelling Leo from Evergreen Academy. I stopped and looked at her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Dean Gable, do you know who owns the land the school is built on? She blinked, confused by the sudden change in topic. Excuse me, the Evergreen Trust owns this land, and who do you think funds the Evergreen Trust? I asked, pulling a heavy, embossed black card from my wallet and dropping it onto the floor between us. Her eyes darted down to the card, taking in the golden crest of the Sterling Consortium, a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that owned half the real estate in the city. The color drained from her face so fast she looked like a ghost. You're a mechanic, she stammered, backing away. Your file says you work in a garage. I own a garage, I corrected her softly. It's a hobby. I retired from corporate acquisitions 10 years ago to raise my son in peace. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only she could hear. In 5 minutes, my legal team will file a class action lawsuit against you, Mr. Vance, and the board of directors for child endangerment, criminal negligence, and attempted manslaughter. In 10 minutes, the press will receive a detailed dossier of every bribe this school has accepted to doctor grades for wealthy students. By tomorrow morning, Evergreen Academy will cease to exist. Dean Gable swayed on her feet, grabbing the wall for support. I pushed past her and kicked open the door to the principal's office. Vance was sitting in a leather chair, holding an ice pack to his head, complaining to a police officer. When he saw me, he jumped up, pointing a shaking finger. Arrest him, he tried to kill me with his car. Vance screamed. The officer turned to me, his hand on his radio. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to place your hands behind your back. Officer, before you do that, you might want to look at the email your precinct captain just received, I said, leaning against the doorframe. The officer frowned, his radio crackling to life a second later. He listened for a moment, his expression shifting from authoritative to deeply alarmed. He looked at me, then slowly backed away from Vance. What are you doing? Vance demanded, his voice pitching higher. Arrest him, Mr. Vance, a new voice spoke from the doorway. A man in a sharp, tailored suit stepped into the office, carrying a sleek silver briefcase. It was Harrison, my lead corporate attorney. He didn't look at me, he looked entirely focused on the trembling teacher. Mr. Vance, I represent the Sterling Consortium, Harrison said smoothly.